Okay, because Getting used to pushing these buttons, mate, so please bear with me if I do make a few stuff-ups tonight, but we will get there.
Through the boot on that layout can be very tricky to get through, and usually gets people unstuck in one fashion or another, no matter what car they're driving.
Absolutely, yeah. Through the boot is a lot of fun in the right car, but it's hard in the wrong car. Like, it really is.
Yeah, last time I actually tried my luck here was in an Indy car, and before the service session opened, I actually went through and just ran some really nice laps and thought, yeah, good, I'll have a shot at this. And sure enough, come qualifying, couldn't complete a timed lap. So, yeah, got quite frustrated with that. Everything was perfect until it counted, which is usually the way it goes. I run out of ability altogether.
Yeah, well, actually, in the old Radical cars, it was a lot of fun. I know you've driven those as well. It was a lot of fun in the Radicals with the full boot. But the boys will enjoy here tonight in the NASCAR set layout.
Yeah, this track is actually also a pile of fun in the the Ford Spec Racer. It's one of those tracks where you can just about hold your foot flat in the Spec Racer all the way around here, and a pile of fun. Never have had the privilege of running this in a NASCAR truck. I've attempted it a couple of times in an Xfinity or a Cup car in the old Gen 6s, but don't know how the trucks are going to handle through this.
I don't know if you caught any of the practice last night, Steve. It was very slippery. The boys were really ploughing in and really loose off. So let's see if we see some more like that tonight.
I imagine we will. People are going to get a little bit comfortable. Even after a few laps, you get a bit of warmth in the tyres. Even coming into the pits, there's somebody just locking up the brakes. at the last moment, deciding to enter the pits. Unfortunately I didn't catch that last night. But I imagine it's going to be a little slippery, and in these, people are going to probably push the envelope a little bit and see how they go with it, Dave. Being the Cup configuration, as I said, it won't be as bad as if it was the International or the boot config. But we'll just have to see how it goes. As usual, I imagine the cream's going to rise to the top in this. As we look at car 27 sitting in the pits, that's somebody who we probably should keep an eye on tonight, and that's Jai Schultz.
Yeah, well, he certainly knows his way around a racetrack, that's for sure, 100%. So there's a lot of people out there with a good shot at tonight. It'll be he who makes the less mistakes shall move forward.
Yeah, exactly. Paul Drady. Paul's in there somewhere, and he's one to keep an eye on. But the field will be full of people we probably need to keep an eye on. At a track like this in the NASCAR trucks, it's probably going to be anybody's race, really. We'll see how people go. I mean, they're into the wall there, and getting slippery coming into the last turn. The guys are getting the rear end out as they take the ripple strip to the left-hand side there, coming back onto the front straight. So and there's Andrew Dyson in the background, who's
going straight ahead into turn one.
He's so our race conditions tonight. Wind direction is from the west at 4 or 5 kilometres per hour, as it changed while I was reading it. It's around about 2 miles per hour. The air temp, so ambient temperature we've got out there is 24 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And the track temp itself is a pretty warm one at 46 degrees Celsius or 115 Fahrenheit. And we've got 0% humidity, which is always good. It keeps things... Yeah, the ambient temperature is not bad, actually. These trucks shouldn't actually have any overheating issues at those temperatures. The track temp, it's getting up there, so that's actually going to cause it to be even slipperier, which is possibly why it was slippery in the practice last night. If the temperatures were anything like that, then the hot track is actually going to play havoc with the tyres. So what we'll see is probably a bit higher tyre wear and certainly a grip issue. What do you reckon, Brad?
Absolutely. Well, last night, as I said, was really slippery, and we only had a track temp of 99 degrees. So the boys have got an extra 16 degrees Fahrenheit to deal with tonight, so it's not going to be easy out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a patience game. What were we looking at? Was it about 45 laps or something?
I would think so, yes. I mean, one good thing is most Australians, excluding myself, of course, are pretty good at road races, so the guys will really put on a show here tonight. It'll be good regardless of the track temperatures.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there'll be a bit of action. I expect to see some guys coming together trying to race for position, as well as keeping it on the black stuff. And we're seeing plenty of guys just not quite able to do that in the practice. We'll see how they go in qualifying. That's going to be interesting because with iRacing, if you get an off track or anything like that, the slightest mistake will nullify the lap time. So we've got to hope they keep it on the black stuff so they can qualify. And I don't know who to tip for this one, to be honest. Like I said, I mean, just about a road course in these vehicles, as you can see, the rear coming out on that one a couple of times there. So, it really is slippery out there. So the guys are going to have to really keep their head screwed on. Any fatigue or lack of concentration at all is going to bring misery, I think, tonight. But just looking through some of the guys in the field, we've got Tristo's out there, Tristan Koch in car 550, Jamie Nankervis, Ads Ariel's out there, Brett Campbell is in there tonight in the number 015. So we're going to see, we've already seen the Jai Schultz is out there somewhere. There's Brett Campbell on screen at the moment. And look, Kobe Jordan's out there. He'll actually make a good race of it on a road course. Aidan Schultz will actually do well here tonight. But it's, as we said, the competition's pretty stiff. Darren McKenzie, Jai Schultz, Will Yesberg, yeah, the whole field's just full of people that can win this one.
That's a who's who of racing, is it? Like, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yep. I mean, last night we had Ruben was in the practice. We had Brett Campbell. We had Tristan. Yeah, numerous people. Jamie Nankervis put on a good show, as always. So it was really enjoyable.
Well,
Clark
Matty
was out there.
Ray's out there, Lachlan Akuyo, Ruben
Lockie was
Phelps.
out as well. Yeah, led a lot of laps, Lockie, last night. So absolutely.
So, well, there we go. That's the 019 of, I'm not actually sure who's driving that one. But, that's Dylan, is it? Okay, so Dylan O'Shea, and he's looped it coming through that turn down there. So, yeah, I've got a feeling tonight's going to be, there's going to be a lot about patience, I think. Just try and keep in touch with the leaders early on for probably the first, at least half of the race, but without trying to really push the envelope, just keep in touch with the leaders or even say mid-pack. Keep the truck on the black stuff and under control and put yourself in a position to challenge for the last 10 to 15 laps. There's probably going to be a decent strategy out there. Tyres and fuel will make a difference. As I said, with those temperatures, we're going to see tyre degradation on a slippery surface. So, yeah, it's going to be a real brain game tonight, I think, on this circuit.
Yeah, well, again, like I said, just last night was the same. It took errors. There was not a lot of side-by-side racing. It was someone would make an error and someone would pass them, and then it was a matter of trying to force them, pressure them make an error and get back around them. It was exciting racing.
Yeah, well, I don't doubt it will be the same tonight. It'll be exciting stuff to watch. Yeah, whoever sort of thinks it through and plays it safe, I still think that the best way will be to just put yourself in a position to challenge for the last 15 laps or so. But that's going to mean driving the truck in a certain fashion as well, as we see that one come loose there as well. So, yeah, lots of slippery stuff out there. So we're going to actually speak to somebody at the moment. We've got Paul Plucker Drady in the booth with us. How you going, Paul?
Yeah, not too bad.
So tell us what's happening with you tonight. How are you finding it?
Well, never not one to be a road course racer. Struggling around here, just trying to keep the truck pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit that way. We've noticed the temperature's right up, mate. You're looking at 115 degrees Fahrenheit or 46 degrees Celsius. So she's a hot track surface out there, and that's going to play havoc with the tyres and the grip.
Yeah, the Lucas Oil Fords. I'm just going to try and keep it right side up and just not get anyone's way, and just have a good race tonight and have a bit of fun, because that's what it's all about.
So, sponsorship of this race. Tell us about it. What do you got there, Paul?
On the truck, I've got Lucas Oil's Pluckers Racecraft, which is my own business. QA1, Impact Racing. We're doing some stuff with the series with Lucas Oils this year. So the winners and stuff, we'll give out some product for Lucas Oil as well. Just helping Mark and those guys at Weekend Warriors, and it's a bit of fun. I've been a sim racer for 20 plus years, so giving a little bit back to the hobby, and what Mark's doing with the stream and whatnot. It's the right thing to do, I think.
Look, that's fantastic stuff, and it's great to have you on board as a sponsor, as well as on track to watch your racing. Or I won't mention what you did just then, but yeah, look, it's great to have you on board. Great to have the sponsorship, and knowing that there's going to be products available is just also just an added bonus, and certainly something to look forward to for the guys racing.
Yeah, well, it's not just racing oils and things like that. They do car products, cleaning stuff, a bit of everything for your at-home guys and your regular daily drivers. So it's just something. I think it's cool, and I'm hoping to do something with Mark with a few races next year as well. So we'll see what comes of it.
Yep, no worries. And what's happening with ATR at the moment, Paul? Since you're involved with ATR racing.
That series, I've stopped running that. There just wasn't support. It's a lot of races. We've got a lot of options at the moment with all the different leagues and series, be it Sunday night, Saturday night, Wednesday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night. It didn't make sense to have another series with 6 or 7 guys. Just working with the other leagues, and Mark wanted to have a break, so I was happy to help with the Saturday stuff as much as I can, because with work and everything else, it gets busy in all our lives. So I just figured it didn't make sense to have just another competing league and try and build up from scratch when there was already established leagues out there.
Yeah, it is like that, and yeah. Look, for those that aren't aware, ATR is Oz Team Racing, and you can find them on Facebook, and just take a look into that. Get involved with the guys. They'll have another series coming up at some point in the near future. As he said, they're doing a bit of a reorganise and looking to what they want to do in 2023. So look. I'll let you get back to it, Paul. We're going into qualifying at the moment, so good luck tonight, buddy, and all the best to you. And thanks for the involvement with the sponsorship and the products.
No problem. Have a good call, guys. I appreciate your support.
Not a problem at all. Paul Plucker Drady there, as on behalf of the sponsorship for the Lucas Oil organisation, and sponsoring this round 4 of the Weekend Warriors Truck Series, as I believe we are into qualifying now, and Jai Schultz on track at the moment, Brad.
Yeah, Jai heading out early. I guess he's hoping that track's not going to get any hotter, so he'll get out early and put his time down and give people something to try and catch.
Yeah, through the bus stop there will be a spot to watch tonight with the slippery conditions. Whoever pushes it just a little hard going in there to try and gain a spot or make up a gap, that's probably one of the spots we will see plenty of action there tonight, with guys getting sideways, possibly even coming together.
Yeah, absolutely. Jai's actually holding a pretty good line, considering he's on cold tyres, sticker tyres at the moment. So if he can do that sort of a lap again on his second lap, he'll be more than up there for sure.
Yeah, he's certainly kept it pretty steady. It's a very, very solid lap. We'll have to wait and see what the time is as he crosses the line. But that's that's his out lap. So
out lap. This one will be what counts.
Yep. This is the time lap now. Yep. But as we keep an eye on what Jai's going to do out there, if he keeps it as steady as he did on that out lap, even if the time's not the absolute best set in the world on fire, he just needs a good solid lap, because anybody who tries to go too fast too early will pay the price under these conditions at the moment. He makes it through the bus stop pretty well.
Yep, hugs the inside. He's looking good there. A couple of corners is a little bit shallow on exit, so it'll slow him down a bit, but he's looking good.
Yeah, I noticed through the bus stop there, he must have been pretty close to the track limit.
He must have been. I don't know if he got a 1X or not. Time will tell. We've still got a timer going on it as he comes around into the final turn, and we'll see what sort of time he's actually able to run in this as he comes through the final turn and past the pit entry. Gets a little bit squirmy there. And we got a 1:13.14, 1:14.5. That's a nice solid time. And it is a nice solid time, so yeah.
And of course it was a safe lap. He kept it within the bounds. He kept it on the black stuff. And except for just that little bit of a wobble coming in to finish the lap, he was pretty good. So we've got Aidan Schultz, the lesser, on track at the moment.
On that team at the moment.
Yeah, I noticed that Josh Schultz actually only ran the single lap. They've only got a 5-minute period to actually run their timed laps, which is probably going to mean that everybody's going to have to just hope for the best on one flying timed lap. As Aidan continues on down through there, and he heads on his way back down into Sector 3, and I think he's just a little bit off what Jai did. He just looks like he's about a second off.
Yeah, it's still going to be a nice time, but yeah, he's just going to fall a little short, I think.
14.618.
Yep.
He's only a tenth of a second off him. Looked like it was a little bit slower than that, but not a bad lap at all from Aiden, and he managed to do it without any issues whatsoever. So we'll take a look now at the moment. Dylan O'Shea on a 13.4.
What I thought someone would be. 113 was what I was expecting.
And we've got a tenth of a second back to Daniel Heddershield. And then Lachlan Akio, Matthew Raymond, Darren McKenzie, Ruben Phelps in 6th. Jai Schultz, 7th. Mark Smith, Aidan Schultz, Paul Drady in a really nice solid 10th position. Jake Saddington, Jamie Nankervis, Noddy Tompkins in 13th. That's a nice qualify from him. Kobe Jordan, 14th. Tristan Kosh in 15th. That's your top 15 there. Brad Fenley, I believe, is in 16th. But the boys didn't have enough time to really just get that one lap in, and that was it. So they had to be on the ball straight up. On slippery conditions, I think they've done pretty well. And congratulations to Dylan on a 113, especially with in these conditions and the temperatures and everything. That's a really good, solid lap there, Brad.
That's actually marvellous lap there for that. That's a second lap speed, not first. So he's done really sensationally well to pull that time.
Yeah, no, fantastic. So we'll have to see. Dylan's obviously one to watch speed-wise. He's obviously got a good feel for the truck in these conditions. As we take a look at our starting grid, Dylan O'Shea starts from pole with Daniel Heddershield next to him on the first row. And on the second row, Lachlan Akio with Matthew Raymond next to him from SRM Australia. Darren McKenzie is on the third row alongside Ruben Phelps from Momentum Esports. Jai Schultz on the fourth row with Mark Smith. Aidan Schultz and Paul R. Drady take up the fifth row. Number 96, Jake Saddington, sits alongside car 8, Jamie Nankervis. Noddy Tompkins and Brad Fenley on row 7. Kobe Jordan and Tristan Kosh, row 8. And Norman Clark starting out of row 9 at the rear of field. There were more, but I was just going to say I thought there were more than that. But yeah, Brett Campbell didn't come up either. So those guys didn't get a time, and have obviously opted to start at rear of field. Probably not a bad idea, just to play it safe, see how things go in these conditions. As we await the grid master to give the word and have the boys roll out for their start. But if you've just joined us, this is round 4 of the Lucas Oil 2022 Weekend Warriors Truck Series from Watkins Glen in the USA. And Dylan O'Shea starting off pole position with Daniel Heddershield next to him in the 035 truck. We're just waiting for them to get the go-ahead. And we start to roll now as they move off the grid behind the iRacing pickup truck. And that will lead them around for the first lap. And you'll probably see some of the guys do a little bit of a wiggle here and there, left and right, just try and get some temperature into the tyres. And it won't be a very long lap, obviously, because this is the Cup configuration. So we've got the bus stop, but we don't have the boot. And in case you missed it, Dylan set the pole time with a 1:13.4. So an outstanding time in these conditions. It's very slippery. It's very hot. As we said previously, 46 degrees Celsius, 115 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature. Ambient temperature around 26 degrees or 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is a warm one out there. The ambient air temperature is not that bad. And the wind coming from the west has picked up a little bit. It's sitting at about 6 kilometres an hour or 4 miles per hour. So it's come up just a touch. And we're looking at 24 degrees at the moment, but still 75 degrees Fahrenheit. and the track temperature has gone up. It's up to 47 or 117 degrees. And
That's not going to make it any easier.
it certainly won't. If this continues to get hotter as the race goes on, it's going to get slipperier and it's going to get a whole lot more dangerous out there.
We'll have drivers passing out, Steve, if it gets any hotter.
Yeah, yeah, the guys will be reaching for the water. There's no two ways about it. And they've got 4 sets of tyres for this race, and it's 35 laps. I thought it was about 40 or 45, but I was wrong. Obviously, happens once every century or so.
I think it's going to feel like 145 laps to these boys out there in that heat, Steve.
Yeah, it's going to get warm, and I hope they keep hydrated as they come around to finish their outlap, so to speak, behind the pace truck, as the truck pulls in to the pits, and Dylan will be expected to hold the field and have control of it until they cross the line, and then it will be on for young and old, and I expect to see somebody lose it in the first 3 turns at least.
Oh, let's hope not. Fingers crossed we get through the first lap clean.
Oh, I hope so, but yeah, I've just got a feeling somebody's going to push it too hard now that they're under race conditions. And we'll see how we go. So far, so good. It's a nice, clean line. They've gone single file most of the way through the field. As they approach the bus stop for the first time under race conditions, Dylan's still got control of the field ahead of Darren Heddershield. And the first half of the field's through the bus stop without any issues. Looks like the boys are being a little bit conservative there on the first couple of laps because they know what the conditions are like.
Yeah, there was just a little bit of coming together there of the first and second place car coming to turn number 1, but not too bad.
Yeah, noticed that Darren just ran a little bit wide there, so to be expected, I guess, as they come through the final turn and onto the front straight. And Dylan O'Shea leads the first lap with Darren Heddershield right behind him, and a slight gap back to the next in line. As we watch Daniel here at the moment. Did I call him Darren, did I? Daniel Heddershield, sorry. Lachlan Akio sits in 3rd place at the moment. And there's another slight gap. They're starting to spread out a little bit already.
We've got a challenge here for the lead.
And Daniel's actually putting the moves on, but yeah, didn't quite think it was the right thing to do. He backed off at the last moment. Didn't think the move would stick, so he's dropped in behind Dylan. But he'll be looking for another opportunity. He'll probably pull up alongside Dylan here any moment. And nope, he's dropped back in behind him again, as they both run a little bit wide there.
Pressure is on, isn't it? 2 drivers under pressure doing a good job.
Under pressure in hot conditions with slippery lack of grip. They certainly, you can see they want to do it. Daniel wants to actually make a move on Dylan at the moment, but he's just not confident enough in the grip from those tyres to actually think that the move's going to stick at the moment, Brad.
Absolutely, yep. They're just going to do probably 2 to 3 laps before they start getting a little bit of confidence in the car. You know, about another 2 laps before you lose all confidence in the car.
The fastest lap around that time was Lachlan Akio, sitting in 3rd at the moment. And Daniel's taken the position off Dylan. Dylan's dropped back, and Daniel's put about 1.5 to 2 car lengths on him at the moment. And Lachlan's actually zeroed in on the rear of Dylan's truck. So Dylan could be under fire from Lachlan Akio here in a moment as they make their way through the bus stop, and they get through there without an issue at the moment. Front half of the field still spread out a little bit, so I don't think we'll see too many guys coming together in parts of the track there at the moment. And we're going to go back and have a look at the replay of that pass by Daniel Heddershield on Dylan O'Shea as they came through the first sector of the track. And there it is, coming out of turn 1 into turn 2. Daniel took advantage of Dylan running a bit wide there and just breezed on by and opened up a slight gap. Dylan trying to hold the position there and trying to get back on And we're back live again now as Dylan makes a move and gets a little bit loose. I think he just gave him a little bit of a kiss. Daniel ran wide there, but managed to keep it under control and hang on to first place. I think maybe Dylan even backed off a little there because he knew that they actually touched and he'd actually caused Daniel to run wide. So great sportsmanship there from Dylan O'Shea. And he's still got Lachlan Akio behind him, he'll be very mindful that Lachlan's going to want that spot. But I think Dylan's more interested in catching Daniel Heddershield again and trying to take that first spot back at the front. But Daniel's definitely holding he's opened up to about a 3 or 4 car length gap there now, back to Dylan O'Shea in second place.
Yeah, I think Lockie at the moment is just hoping those two are going to race each other, and Lockie will just sit back and pick up the scraps.
Yeah, I think that in behind him there, he's got 2 of his teammates in Matty Ray and I believe Noddy Tompkins. So Noddy's actually come right up into, what's that, about 5th or 6th place, and I think he started 13th. So that's a great start from Noddy Tompkins at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised Ruben's not with him. I don't imagine it's going to be too long before Rubes is up there with his teammates.
Yeah, I just caught a glimpse of a car right behind Noddy, but I think it might have been the colours of Darren McKenzie from Sky Point Racing.
Yeah, another experienced driver, of course, a great driver out there. So it's just really talented at the top there, and how it should be.
So we just watch him coming through the bus stop again. A little bit bumpy there.
Up there, didn't he?
Yeah, he may. I don't know whether he got a track limit warning there or not, but he hasn't backed off to allow for it. So I'd say he just might have gotten away with that one. Continues to lead Dylan, and yeah, I think Lockie's happy to keep these two in sight, let them race each other, use up their tyres, and then take advantage of the opportunity. The guys really are using the whole track limit there at the moment, and I think it's got a lot to do with the hot conditions and the slippery lack of grip. They're really using the entire track rather than trying to keep it on the black stuff and fight it and risk actually spinning it around, Brad.
Yeah, for sure, Steve. With these new updates and everything else, it's not tyre wear, it's tyre heat. And the more you hammer your tyres, the hotter they get, the less grip you got. You go into change if you think, oh, my tyres are burned out, and like I was doing it the other day, 89% still the tyres. It's just overheating. So they're really pushing limits, like you say, so they're going to feel the effects of that extra heat build-up.
Yeah, no, fair point too. So we're going to actually take a look through the field. We've got Lachlan Akio there in 3rd place. And just looking through, what have we got? Looking at the back end of the field there, we've got Maxi Marshall in 21st. So leading is Daniel Heddershield. We've got Dylan O'Shea behind him. Then Lachlan Akio. And just trying to figure out who's who there on the...
Yeah, it's not easy. I
trying to recognise the trucks and the numbers. And
yeah, I made a mistake earlier myself, Steve, when I said Ruben wasn't up there. He's actually running 4th.
Yeah, so there's the number 1 truck there, which I think is Darren McKenzie. So it was his blue and white truck I saw sitting in behind. I think that's Noddy in front of him. But going through the field, Daniel Heddershield leads from Dylan O'Shea, Lachlan Akio, Ruben Phelps in 4th. As you just said, Brad, Matthew Raymond, Ratty May in 5th. Darren McKenzie in the number 1 truck. We've got our eyes on at the moment, sitting 6th. Aidan Schultz in 7th. Andrew Dyson 8th. I've already realised who's missing there. Jake Saddington is 9th. And there he is. Josh Schultz has moved back to 10th. So he's had a bit of a slow start. He actually, I think he started in 6th or 7th. So he's dropped back a bit in the field. Mark Smith is in 11th, Paul Ardrady in 12th, Jamie Nankervis 13th, Noddy Tompkins 14th. So I'm just wondering who that is in the 82 truck. Must be 42, 83. Nope, I must be seeing things. I thought there were 3 of the SRM trucks there, but obviously not. Okay, I'm seeing things, I think, Brad. Oh, is that who it is? Okay, yeah, it's Brian, okay.
Messer, that's who it is.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
the American
international
driver. I think he's the only USA driver in the field tonight.
International flagger tonight with Brian in the field.
Yep, bit of an international flavour at a USA track, so it's good to see. As we follow truck 54 down through the field there, and that, of course, is... Oh, goodness me. Oh, that's Brian. Yes, of course. That's who we've got on screen at the moment. Sorry, folks. I keep up with this. It's a lot different racing these guys than it is to calling the race. And trying to keep up with everything that's going on. It's usually a lot easier on an oval track because they're closer together. So we've got Norman Clark is actually... he's still sitting in 14th place. We've got an accident there. Something's happened to somebody on track. And we're just trying to find that at the moment. Mark's looking through the field to see who did what so that we can actually take a look at it.
I think it's Paul Drady's involved, I think. I think it's the number 129 of Paul Plucker Drady.
Yeah. But we believe it was Paul. So just taking a look at Josh Schultz at the moment, sitting 20th. So... whether he's pitted or he was involved in that, I don't know. We've got an instant replay at the moment, so we're going to take a look at that. But we're taking a look at Josh Schultz at the moment, and I believe he is, well, by the looks of this, he's actually dropping through the field. But this on the replay, he's just ahead of, I think, is that Mark Smith in the 07?
Yeah, that's Mark Smith.
Oh, there we go. There it is. Yeah, that's what Joe...
and this is where Plucker must get involved right there. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Plucker.
Oh, what a shame for Paul.
Absolutely. Not his fault. Caught up in someone else's loss.
Yep. Jai's just succumbed to the track conditions there and gotten it loose, bounced it off the Armco straight across into the path of Paul Drady, who came down behind him. And I think he's carrying a lot of damage because that truck's smoking very badly, that 129. And we're going back live at the moment as we take a look in the pits, and there's a lot of smoke coming from that pit bay of Paul Drady. Josh Schultz in the pits as well. So I don't know whether Paul's going to be able to continue because that would indicate pretty bad engine damage.
Yeah, so, I think he's had to. It will be a while before he gets in. Yep.
Yeah, I'd say that might even be Paul's night done. We might give it a minute before we try and talk to him about that. He might not be too happy at the moment.
It was nobody's fault. It was just somebody spun and Paul was in the wrong place, wrong time. So do they have a fast repair tonight? No fast repair?
Yeah, no fast repairs in this series, ladies and gentlemen. So it's an unfortunate situation, but no fast repairs is the hard and fast rule. So we all take our chances on track when somebody makes a mistake like that, and we suffer the consequences as innocent bystanders. But it's the way it is. We're aware of that going into it, so we know that if something happens, then we could very well be having an early shower. As we keep an eye on the moment, at the moment I think we've got, is that that's Dylan and Daniel Heddershield, and this is first and second place, battling it out. Dylan's taken first place back from Daniel as Daniel follows him down through, and they've still got Lachlan Akio with a fair gap back, but he's keeping an eye on how these two are actually racing at the front, playing tag with each other and swapping places back and forth. And Lachlan probably couldn't be happier at the moment to let them do that and just wait for an opportunity. I mean, he's close enough to take advantage of anything that may go wrong if these two guys have a bit of a whoopsie. And I think it's Matthew Raymond behind him, who's also not in a bad spot at the moment. And Ruben's fourth.
And Matty Raymond fifth, yeah.
Ruben's fourth, Matty's fifth. Okay, and then Darren McKenzie has just actually, I think, taken the spot off Matt Raymond. So that pushes Matty back to sixth, I believe.
Yeah, it's hard for the broadcasters when every car's painted the same.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, I keep forgetting that Ruben's actually driving as part of that team. So
Ruben's new to that team this year and going to do well there and excel, I'm sure.
Used to seeing him in other colours. So yeah, got to catch up with that.
Yeah, I'm used to it. Ruben drove for me last year, so he's moved to a new team this year, and best of luck to him. I'm sure he's going to excel.
We've got car number 8 on screen at the moment as we keep an eye on Jamie Nankervis. He's circulating with a best lap of 1:16.1, so that's probably a comfortable pace for him to run at the moment.
Yeah, well, he's the actual leader of the championship at the moment, Steve. He's really trying to consolidate, have a good finish, have a good run, and wants to leave here tonight still leading the championship, even if he doesn't win the race.
Well, it's all about points, Brad, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's a short Christmas season. It's all about points and solid finishes.
So, yeah, Jamie's just playing it safe there at the moment. He's putting in some decent lap times. I mean, he's probably only about a second and a half off his qualifying time. And in these conditions, within the race at race pace, with the slippery track surface and all that, I mean, yeah, he's probably playing it exactly the way he needs to. As we also take a look at Brett Campbell, who's sitting back in 20th spot, and he's about a second and 1.4 seconds off what Jamie Nankervis is running. So Brett's out there just to have a good time and get through the race. He's probably just knowing Brett, he just wants to finish the race, be in the best possible spot that he can be. And as long as he gets across that finish line, I think he'll be pretty happy, Brett.
Yeah, for sure. I think Brett wants to bring the car home in one piece. He's not over pushing the limits. He's driving well within his abilities and limits, and it's great to see. He is on the lead lap, and that's where I want to finish. You know, he'll do his best to finish on that lead lap if he can.
Yeah, we're taking a look at the moment. Poor old Kobe Jordan is at the 080. I'm told he's actually 2 laps down at the moment. So he's obviously been lapped, either being in the pits or having something go wrong that we're not aware of. But yeah, he may have spent a fair while in the pits, and that's caused him to go a couple of laps down. So Paul Drady's still showing as being in the pits, but he obviously hasn't put it on the transporter yet. Or he would actually be registering as out. So whether he's actually just sitting there letting it try and repair, I don't know. But if he had that engine damage, then I find it hard to believe he'd be able to get back out there, because that's usually at least about 30 minutes worth of repairs, Brad.
Yeah, for sure. I was checking to make sure he was in a medical centre, so he seems all right. He's just, like you said, though, not the time to be talking to him.
Yes, which is why I sort of would avoid it at the moment. We might, whether he sticks around or not, I don't know. But we're keeping an eye on Tristo at the moment. Tristan Koch in the 550, and he's actually sitting 14th, so he's not in a bad spot at the moment. I believe he's still on the lead lap and just making his way through the bus stop. He's got a couple of cars behind him, but they're about 3 or 4 car lengths back. So Tristo's driving a nice race. He's probably run a little wide there, but that's all to do with his corner entry. So he may be finding the cars a little bit slippery, like most of them would be at the moment. And he's playing it safe. He's in a reasonable spot. He's mid position, and with quite a few laps to go. We're only on lap 15 out of 35. So with 20 laps to go, Tristo's not in a bad spot at all. If a couple of these guys have a bit of an incident or a long pit stop, then Tristo's probably in a good position to creep into the top 10 when he gets the chance. Norman Clark back in 15th position at the moment, and I certainly wouldn't discount Norman finishing in the top 10. He's probably one of the most consistent race drivers that I've seen. He's got real life experience as well, especially in rallying, and loves his NASCAR stuff, loves his sim racing, and as I said, probably one of the most consistent sim races that I had the pleasure to race against. Things don't always go his way. Sometimes he finishes at the front, sometimes mid-pack, sometimes he just creeps into the top 10, but Norman's always there. So we'll keep an eye on how he progresses, moving up hopefully from number 15 as we spot, I think that's Brad Fenley. Yes, it is. In 12th spot, car 59, and easy to spot Brad because I know his number and I know his VB livery, so it's easy to know who that is. But yeah, as the comment was made before, when you've got so many cars painted the same, it's hard to keep up with who is who. And that's one of the SRM cars behind him. I'm just trying to pick who it is. Just by trying to spot the number. Which section? But yeah, look, he's a few car lengths back from the back of Brad in that 59 truck anyway. And Brad, although in 12th position, is not badly placed. I mean, it might not seem like 12th's a great spot to be.
Hendersley behind him, I think. Brenton Henderson.
But, yeah, the number 81 there. Yes.
Yeah, Brenton Henderson.
Yeah, that's Brenton Henderson, that's it, yeah. Yeah, I've seen him on track a couple of times. I've raced against him a couple of times, but not really familiar with the guy. I can't really sort of say that I'm familiar with the way he races, but he's doing a decent enough job at the moment. I mean, he's sitting back in 13th, but like I said, that's not a bad spot to be at this point in the race where we've got, 19 laps to go. So he if something goes wrong with somebody ahead of him, he could easily pick up a few spots.
Yeah, for sure, and he'll be talking on the radio to his teammates who are really well experienced and have a lot of ability, so he'll do nothing but go forward, I think.
Dylan O'Shea continues to lead this from Daniel Heathershield, and I believe Lachlan Akio is still in third place. Quite happy to sit back there. This may even be a race of, make it to the end and just pick up whatever points you can towards the championship. I don't see Lachlan pushing the truck very hard to try and make up the space up to Dylan, who appears to be well clear of Daniel Heathershield. He pitted, I believe, did he? Because I don't see Daniel on track there. It's Dylan back to Lachlan in second. And, yeah, he was in the pits, yeah, because it looked like his truck coming out of the pit exit just a minute ago. So he's dropped to 9th place, but he's pitted now, and Dylan and Lachlan are yet to pit, I believe. So this could actually play into Daniel's hands as far as pitting, and the 18 laps to go. Just wondering what their fuel load might be like at the moment as to how they're going with that. Because if Daniel wouldn't have pitted unless he felt he needed to. So we may even see Dylan and Lachlan come into the pits in the next couple of laps as we watch Daniel Heathershield there work his way through the bus stop in traffic. He's already up to 8th place. So he's moved up a spot since he came out of the pits already. Working his way through that mid-pack. He certainly won't be doing anything silly out there, Brad. He'll be just simply pushing on to make his way to the front, knowing that he's now pitted and can probably get to the end, and that Dylan and Lockie probably will need to yet pit at some point soon.
I think so, Steve. He'll be out there with 4 fresh Dunlops, Goodyears on, and he'll be going forward from here.
So we'll see how those fresh tyres go as he looks like making a move on. I think that's Mark Smith, is it? Yep. I didn't see the number. I could just see the colour of the truck. So I thought it was Mark, but I just wasn't sure. I didn't want to open my mouth till I knew. But yeah, so that puts him up to, he's up to 3rd now. So he's made up a lot of spots. Right, okay. So we've got the leaders in the pits at the moment, I believe. And it's going to be interesting to see how Daniel can make the most of this. whoever's ahead of him probably also needs to pit. So I expect to see Daniel take over the lead of this race shortly. And so there's Andrew Dyson, who's inherited the lead, but he's on his way into the pits at the moment. Looked like he was slowing down for the pits. So that will put very shortly. We'll put Daniel Heddershield back in the lead, I believe.
It looks like it's all cycled around now, Steve. Starting to really cycle around and get back to where we were prior to the pit stops.
So Daniel's still showing as third, but iRacing will update in just a moment and actually put him as first.
We've got a spin. We've got a spin. I think Mark Smith has gone around.
Yep, somebody's come loose on the front straight there near the pit entry. Not sure who it was. It looks like they've just... Sorry, mate.
Not a good spot to come loose. He was a sideways across the track.
Anybody coming through that final turn is going to get a surprise. It's certainly for sure.
He certainly will.
And it was Mark Smith, and he did put it nose into the wall, so he's got engine damage, so he's done. He's escaped back to the pits and gotten a tow, which basically makes competitively at least, his races run. Depends on how much damage. Yeah, it depends how much damage he's got, whether he can get back out or not. But he did nose it into the wall, and it looked like he had some smoke coming from under the bonnet.
I think his job is done. His day is done, Steve, I think.
Yeah. So we'll take a look back at what Daniel Heddershield is doing, and having managed to race his way back to the lead after a pit stop with 16 laps to go. And he actually is passing or lapping Brett Campbell coming down that front straight in the 035 truck. That's obviously Daniel Heddershield. And that's one of the DBR Benmax trucks in the background behind him. Whether it's Andrew Dyson or it is Dylan. Okay, so it's Dylan O'Shea. And he's back into second place. So for the last 15 laps, Dylan is very loose in that truck. There's a lot of wiggle in that.
Yeah, he's doing his best to catch back up.
Yeah, he's pushing it pretty hard because he wants that lead back, and he knows there's only 15 laps. But he's hanging onto that truck pretty well. So he's obviously on the limit of adhesion there at the moment, Brad.
Absolutely. He's holding no stops. He's going for it. It's now or never.
Well, he knows that, and with they're coming down to 14 laps to go, and he will actually be. We're going to see some exciting stuff here, and will Dylan push too hard? That's going to be the question. He's got his eyes on the back of Daniel's truck, and he's going to want the spot, but he also knows how loose it is out there. So it's going to be interesting to see how he drives this last 14 laps.
Yeah, so Daniel's tyres are a little bit more worn than Dylan's, so that'll make a difference, but Dylan is driving real hard. Yeah,
Dylan's driving a lot. It seems to be driving a lot harder than Daniel, so he's it's whether the advantage of having a couple of laps fresher on the rubber or not, it's going to help, because he is driving a bit harder than Daniel, trying to catch up to him. So. And Daniel just seems to be in the groove, and he's just driving as smoothly as possible, and very controlled.
I think, like I said, Steve earlier, I think the heat here will start to make a difference. Even though Dylan's tyres aren't as worn, they're going to get so much hotter, and he's suddenly going to plunge off a cliff before he realises it.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate. I'd like to see these two very close to one another across the line. So we've got a new fastest lap of 1:13.09 from Andrew Dyson out there at the moment. So he's lapping very well at the moment. As we look at Andrew sitting in fourth, and Ruben Phelps in fifth position at the moment.
As they say, Steve, the cream comes to the top, doesn't it? So Dyson putting in a sensational lap.
And Ruben Phelps sitting right behind him in fifth. So Ruben's in the top five. and I expect nothing less, to be perfectly honest. Ruben can do that under a lot of different conditions. As we take a look at Daiso there through the bus stop, he's taken a fair bit of that one, but not much of the first one on the entry to the bus stop. So he's driving fairly well. He's driving solid, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of wiggle in that truck. He's doing a pretty solid job under, with the slippery conditions and that. It doesn't seem to be bothering him too much. He knows what he's about, Daiso, and he knows his stuff.
He does. He's looking very in control here.
I'm just trying to loosen my my headset cable. And
Stop, Steve. If you can enter that bus stop and take a little bit only of that first cement thing there, you can take a heap of the second one and maintain a nice straight vehicle. He's hitting it perfectly when he hits it.
I was going to say, it's pretty much what Daiso's done there, and he's managed almost a straight line out of the bus stop.
Exactly.
Which is definitely the way to go. Not how I take it, but that all that indicates that I don't know what I'm doing.
Take it in my dreams, Steve.
Yeah, in my dreams I drive that way, but that's about all. So we're just taking in some of the action here at the moment as we come through the bus stop. You can see what we were talking about there with Daiso's line through that bus stop. Very, very good line, and almost holding the wheel straight to come out of there before he has to give it just a little bit of a touch to the right to make that right-hand turn. And he's all over the back of the, was it the number 42? So that's Lockie, I think, in the number 42 truck.
Yeah, that is. It's Lockie in the 42.
So these guys battling for third and fourth at the moment, and Daiso's absolutely running hot here at the moment. He's on a really quick lap, and he's going to pull up alongside. We'll probably actually take Daiso there. Nope, he's thought more of it. Drop back in behind him. He'll wait for another opportunity.
He'll try and get a run up through the straight, up through the S's, and then into the bus stop.
Yeah, there's Lockie coming up through turns 3 and 4. And we take the nose cam from Daiso's truck with the back of Lockie Akuyo, and they're coming up into the bus stop here at the moment.
He's not going to get him this time.
We'll get a really good view of the line that Andrew Dyson's taking here. Takes a little bit more of the curb, a little bit less of that one. So he was slightly offline there for consider what he's been doing.
Yeah, he probably didn't have quite as good a vision because Lockie was right in front of him.
Lockie's in front, yeah. So who we've got on the inside there? That's Tristo pulling across to get out of the way, knowing that third and fourth were coming through. And I think Tristo's back in about 14th or 15th spot. So he's done the right thing there. And roll bar cam from inside the cabin of Andrew Dyson's truck at the moment as we keep an eye on the back of Lachlan Akuyo. Daiso wants that spot off him pretty badly.
He can taste it.
Oh yeah, he can almost smell what Lockie's had for breakfast. I think he's all over the back of him, and he's looking for a way around him, but he just doesn't want to do something silly in the slippery conditions, Brad.
No, that's right. You've still got to think it's a few laps to go yet. You can't be making a mistake and wrecking your whole race.
10 laps to go. The last thing you need is a rush of blood. Put the truck into the Armco, and completely ruin what could have been a top 3 or 4 spot. So. As they come back into the bus stop again, and he's thrown caution to the wind, I think, Daiso. He's really all over the back of Lockie. He's really just desperate to get past Lockie there and get onto the podium. So he's just filling his mirrors at the moment. Lockie knows he's there.
Yep, he's just trying to get Lockie to know he's there, make a mistake, and open the door for him.
Lockie's got the line through the turn there, so... Daiso's tried, he's done the crisscross.
The crossover.
But will he get around him here? Lockie's got the inside line, but Daiso's got him on the outside. Yeah. So Daiso up to third, and Lachlan Akuyo back to fourth position. Some great racing between these two guys, Brad.
Absolutely fantastic racing. Good, clean drivers, great drivers, and pleasure to watch.
But it's what we come to. It's what we come to expect from these guys too. I mean. They know their stuff. Yeah,
here's the replay. Let's look how he set him up. And he was setting him up for the whole previous lap.
Yep. Yep. Well, we've got the replays crashed on us, but that was a brilliant move, beautiful move. And if you, we got absolutely nothing. We've gone back live. Yes, we have. Okay, so at least we've got the live vision at the moment. Thanks, Mark. And he's opened up a couple of lengths space back to him with 9 laps to go, according to the lap counter I've got here. And they both ran very wide out of turn 1.
Yeah, hot tyres there, both of them with hot tyres.
And they both would have been pushing fairly hard to either defend or attack during that few laps there where Dyso was trying to get that spot back off Lockie. And as they come back down the front straight, there's about a 5 or 6 car gap there from Andrew Dyson back to Lockie now, and that's 3rd and 4th place that we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know if he's going to have enough pace to get up with those leaders, though.
Yeah, we've 8 laps to go, and I think there might be just too much of a gap between 2nd and 3rd for these guys to really make a dent. Just having a look, it looks like there's some back markers there in between.
Yeah, he's 8.5 seconds behind 2nd place, so it's a long way behind.
It's a long way behind. 8 laps, he's got to make up more than a second a lap, more than a second and a half a lap. So, it looks like these two are just going to battle it for 3rd and 4th, with Andrew Dyson and Daniel Heddershield battling for the top spot on the podium. And we're going back to watch what's going on with the leaders. As Daniel Heddershield continues to lead Dylan O'Shea, but they are very close, virtually nose to tail here at the moment. O'Shea wants that spot back, and there's 7 laps to go, and these guys have just started the 7th lap to go. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go. This is going to be the real test for these guys driving in slippery conditions with this hot track, because they are battling just as hard as the guys in 3rd and 4th, because both of them want to win this. They want the points for the championship. So it's going to be interesting to see whether they can... It's got to get to the point, Brad, where Dylan just says, well, look, I'm just going to have to cop 2nd place because it's just not worth risking it and missing out altogether.
Yeah, but I think it could be the last lap before Dylan comes to that conclusion. At the moment, it's mano on mano, no quarter asked and no quarter given.
Well, Dylan's a bit slow too on the uptake, so... Sorry, Dylan, just a joke, mate. But yeah, no, he'll battle right to the end. But certainly Daniel's not going to, he's going to make him work for it. He's not going to make it easy for Dylan by any stretch of the imagination either.
Yeah, that's for sure. At the moment, with the draft, Dylan's a little bit quicker than Daniel, but Daniel's just driving so well. He's holding the preferred line, and he's going to be near impossible to get past unless he makes a mistake.
Well, that's it too. Daniel doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So Dylan's really going to have to be on his game, and he's going to have to really do pretty much what Andrew Dyson did to Lockie. He's going to have to be right on his backside and just hound him until the opportunity comes up to
harass him into an error.
Somewhere. If he continues to allow Daniel to open up a gap of a few car lengths, he's really not going to put himself in a position to take any chance of an opportunity to get past him at any point. And running out of laps now because they're just about to come down to 5 laps to go this time across the line.
Yep. So what have we got? 45 corners to go, because that's where the error is going to happen. One of the corners.
As they come down and cross the line to make it 5 to go, Daniel Heddershield continues to lead from Dylan O'Shea, Andrew Dyson and Lockie Akio. And I'm just looking to see who is in 5th place at the moment to round out that top 5. I believe it's Ruben Phelps. So, Ruben sitting back there behind Lockie Akio in 4th place. And Mark Smith back in 19th. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. he was running a pretty good race there for a while, but that little slip up coming onto the front straight out of the final turn just completely brought him undone there, Brad.
Yeah, for sure, Steve. Look, there's a little bit of grass and then a lot of Armco railing. That's when you get a lot. It's usually only one thing that's going to happen.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, look, there's Dylan's all over the back of Daniel. Like I said, pretty much doing what Daiso did to Lachlan. But he just needs to keep it just that much closer. It's just going to make his life easier when an opportunity arises. But Daniel's not going to make it easy. He's pretty much shutting the door every time an opportunity comes up. So it's going to be interesting to see how Dylan handles this last 4 laps.
He's making a move here down the inside.
And Dylan's actually got the inside line for the next turn. Daniel's run wide, so Dylan's,
the exit
and there's the move. So Dylan O'Shea takes the lead back from Daniel Heddersheet.
He does, as we said, it had taken error for him to pass, and now the pressure's gone back the other way.
So now Daniel's got the opportunity to hound
He
Dylan.
does. Yeah, for sure. He's now got some draft, and his car will pick up a couple of kilometres per hour a bit quicker. So we'll see how we go.
And they come through the bus stop nice and easy.
Oh,
Oh, Daniel's loose. Oh, he's caught that very well done. He just got loose coming across that ripple strip there. But managed to catch it. I thought he was gone, but he hung on to that. So brilliant stuff from Daniel Heddersheet. And he really didn't drop back that far either in the attempt to hold on to that too. So that was good.
No, he didn't let up, did he?
Oh, there he goes again. Oh.
And again. So I think
coming out of the final turn. So that's obviously his tyres just not doing the job now after defending against Dylan for so long. And his tyres, which were about 3 to 5 laps older than Dylan's, and he's loose again there as he comes out of
I think
turn
it's
one.
time for him to consolidate and just try and hold on to second.
I think that's going to be his plan. He's going to go, yeah, well, look, I just don't have the tyres to mount a challenge, so I'm just going to have to drive the best I can and hang on to second and just get on the podium and grab the points. Unless Dylan makes a boo-boo, I don't see Daniel being in a position to sort of take advantage of any situation because of his fading tyres.
100%, sir.
So, yeah, there's 2 laps difference in the age of the tyres, but with the heat, in these conditions, I'd say that, the way both these guys have driven, I think the tyres are going to be pretty much on par with each other.
Absolutely, within 1% of each other, I'd say these tyres are. Again, it's just the heat build-up that affects them.
And there's Daniel loose again coming off that ripple strip. With 3 laps to go now, in round 4 of the Lucas Oil 2022 Weekend Warriors Truck Series from Watkins Glen in the USA. And thanks very much for the sponsorship to Paul R. Drady and Lucas Oil. Wonderful stuff to have them involved in this. And as we see Dylan O'Shea moving up on the back of Jamie Nankervis, who is the series leader at this point. And he's in 12th spot on the track at the moment. So he'll just be looking at finishing this and grabbing whatever points he can. He won't be too bothered by what the 2 guys behind him are doing. He's going to probably make room for them to get by. He's not really racing them.
He's racing with his head at the moment, so it's
he's racing with his head, and he's racing for championship points. He's allowed them both to go by. He's even lifted there to make sure that he gets out of the way. So this comes down to now crossing the line with 2 laps to go. And we're on the final lap now. That was 2 laps to go before that, was it? Okay, so we're on the final lap now with Dylan O'Shea leading from Daniel Heddersheet. And I believe we've still got Lachlan Akio in third.
Andrew Dyson in third.
Andrew Dyson in third, Lachlan Akio in fourth. Yep. And I believe Ruben Phelps rounding out the top 5 at the moment.
Like I said, Stephen, it truly is. The cream has come to the top.
Oh, absolutely. So we just go back and have a look at Daiso, who's sitting in third place. And as he comes through the bus stop, yes, he's getting the rear of that out, but and there,
Dylan's doing the same.
Sideways there, he's doing the same. Probably a dangerous thing to do on the last lap where you got second place only about 4 car lengths behind you, but he's drifting it. He's doing it on purpose, I'd say. Yeah, there he goes. Okay, so there you go. Your winner, ladies and gentlemen,
Call him a show off.
is the party man, Dylan O'Shea. He's having a bit of a party there. And Daniel was probably watching all that going on, going, yeah, come on, just go around just a little bit more.
Just teasing him, taunting him.
Absolutely willing him to bring the rear of that truck all the way around, and Daniel would have been straight past him, but it didn't happen, and Daniel was probably having a bit of a chuckle watching him do it. So first place to Dylan O'Shea, second place Daniel Heddersheed, third place I believe went to Andrew Dyson, fourth place to Lachlan Akio, and rounding out your top 5, Ruben Phelps. So congratulations to those guys. Well driven from most of those guys too, Brad.
Absolutely. As I said, really hard conditions out there in that truck tonight, and it was a pleasure to watch and a pleasure to call.
Yeah, no, fantastic stuff. Unfortunate for a few of the guys out there that succumbed to the track conditions and put it into the Armco. That final turn seemed to be the undoing of a few guys, actually, rather than I expected it to be the bus stop, but turned out to be that final turn 8 and that ripple strip and the Armco rail there that claimed a couple of victims. So
yeah, well, that was Smith. He got caught out there in turn 8, and I guess our heart's got to go out to Paul Drady.
Yeah.
On through the event and made no mistake at all, just caught up in someone else's error, and it's a shame.
Funnily enough, that was Jai getting loose coming out of the final turn and down the front straight, and bouncing it off the inside wall. So once again, turn 8 claimed somebody, but it just happened beyond that point after the other car bounced off the wall and across the track. So unfortunate for Paul to cop damage like that through no fault of his own, but he'll be back. He'll race again, and we'll see how he goes in the next round. So here we go with our unofficial results. Dylan O'Shea in first, Daniel Heddersheed second, I keep mispronouncing that. Andrew Dyson third, Lachlan Akio fourth, Ruben Phelps is your top 5. Then Matty Raymond in 6th place, well done from Matty, good drive. Darren McKenzie in 7th, nice safe drive from Darren, who'll get a fistful of points out of that. Jake Saddington 8th, Will Yesberg 9th, and Brad Fenley, great drive from Brad to round out the top 10.
Yeah, good solid drive from Brad. Nice result, deserved.
Brenton Henderson brought it home 11th. Jamie Nankervis eventually brought it home 12th. And Norman Clark 13th, to spot up from where he started. Brian Messer, the US contingent, brought it home 14th. Maxi Marshall 15th. Tristan Kosh 16th. Kobe Jordan 17th. Brett Campbell 18th. Mark Smith 19th. And Adam Ariel rounded out the top 20 for this round. Yep, there we go. I thought there was a few more. Noddy Tompkins ended up bringing home 21st, but he didn't complete the race, unfortunately, for Noddy. Aiden also didn't complete, and he brought it home 22nd. Paul Drady, 23rd, and Jai Schultz, 24th. Obviously succumbing to damage from that incident that he had. So that's your field for round 4 of the Lucas Oil 2022 Weekend Warriors Truck Championship, and we hope you've enjoyed the racing there. We'll get to talk to our top 3 in just a moment, as we've got Daniel already in the green room, and we're just looking for Just looking to see if I can actually find the rest of our podium.
Yeah, well, let's hope they do turn up in the interview room. We'd hate to see them penalised, which is written in the rule book, Steve. That's for sure. None of us want to see that.
Yep, so they do need to come up there. But for the meantime, I'll drag Daniel up. We'll have a chat to our second place getter while he's there. Daniel Heddersheed, congratulations on second place. Fantastic drive, mate.
Yeah, cheers, guys. A little bit disappointed with that. A couple of little errors from me. It should have been a win, but I mean, Dylan and me were having a really good race there, so yeah, I won't complain too much.
There was some fantastic back and forward racing between you and Dylan. It really was a case of all race. It was just, there's no way we could have picked a winner. But towards the end there, where you ran wide and Dylan took the first spot back, we noticed after that you seemed to be pushing it, just trying to catch him and look for an opportunity. But it was painfully obvious your tyres were pretty much past their due date by that point.
Yeah, I started to notice an issue about probably the lap before that my tyres were starting to struggle a lot. I took the gamble going for the undercut. I knew I had to do something after to get around them. It paid off, but then I ran it a bit wide. The truck just would not stop going into turn one there for probably the 3 laps around that, and then I started obviously pulled my braking back and adjusted, but it was a bit too late by then.
Right. Yeah, a couple of times he gave us a bit of a fright. It looked like you were sideways and loose, and you managed to hold on to it, which was a great bit of driving. But sort of gave us a bit of a scare up in the booth here. We thought you were gone, but that was just in that last couple of laps. But look, it was fantastic racing, mate. It was obviously pretty slippery out there, and the hot conditions obviously affected the tyres. The truck itself ran okay otherwise.
Yeah, it was definitely slippery out there, but it's Watkins Glen, the truck. I'm used to the truck being pretty slippery around here, so I can sort of use that to my advantage sometimes. But tonight, I think I just used it a little bit too much. Those last few laps at the end there, I knew I had to try something drastic to try and get into the window to pass him. Otherwise, I knew Dyson was quite a way behind, so I had a little bit of leeway as long as I didn't absolutely make a mockery of it and bin it or loop it or whatever. But that was a really fun race. The truck, I mean, the setup was pretty good. It was tight in a couple corners for me, but the majority of the track, it was just feathering that throttle on, trying to keep the truck straight, and that's about it.
Well, you led 19 laps all up. A fastest lap of 1:14.0. Your last lap was a 15.9, so it was obviously to do more with the lack of grip. But you started second, finished second. Your highest position was first, and when you came out of the pits there, you were 9th, but fought your way back to the front within a couple of laps. You were picking up spots hand over fist there, as not only making your way through the back markers in the midfield, but as the guys that inherited the lead also had to pit. So that sort of made the job a bit easier to get to the front. So how do you see the championship overall, and how you're going at the moment?
I don't think I'm going too well in the championship, to be honest. I missed round one, unfortunately, and then round two, I mean, I came out of the gates with a win, but last week I just had a tiny bit of damage that obviously hurt my race right at the end there with a late yellow. But hey, I'm just here for a good time, see if I can get some race wins and get some practice in sort of the off season.
Well, look, you'll get a decent amount of points from tonight, mate. So that might make up for last week and missing the first round a bit. So, but as you said, you're here for a good time and enjoy yourself. It's nice if you pick up some points and move up the ladder and get the odd win here and there. It sort of can't hurt to just pick up podiums along the way and just gather up the points. It makes it a bit more satisfying.
Yeah, and I mean, any night you beat Daiso on a road course is a good night. So, I mean, he did start a long way behind me, but I was still expecting him to see him at some point. So, yeah, I'll take that as a victory tonight.
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. But, I mean, anybody who gets ahead of Daiso on any track's doing a pretty good job, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, he's hard to beat no matter where he is. So, getting ahead of him on a road course is always a great opportunity. and you got to take those chances when they come. Anybody you want to give a shout out to, mate, while we got you?
Yeah, I'll shout out to Dylan O'Shea. We had it was an awesome race. Like, we had a couple bits of contact there, but nothing too bad. And when he did go a bit too far, he gave me back the position, so that was awesome. And yeah, Natari or Norman, everyone that was in the chat with me, and you guys for starting this broadcast up. That's great to see. And yeah, everyone that runs this league, it looks like it's getting some good numbers, and it's going to be quite big.
Yep. Brad, sorry, mate, did you have a question for Daniel?
Not a question, Steve. Just congratulations, Daniel. You led the most laps tonight. I actually called you were going to win unless you made a mistake, and unfortunately you made a slight error, and Dylan did capitalise on it. But it was a great drive from yourself.
So there's a bit of commentator's curse there going on, was there?
That always happens when we actually praise somebody and give them a big talk up, and then they make a mistake.
Dylan, you've got to go easy on Brad, mate. It's the first night in the box, so take it easy on him, will you?
All right, look, thanks very much, Daniel. Congratulations again on the second spot, and a tremendous drive in pretty tough, slippery conditions too. So well done tonight on a road course. You basically ticked all the boxes, and it was just perfectly honest. If it had been cooler conditions, it wouldn't have been such an issue with the tyre degradation. Well, not necessarily degradation, but the heat affected tyres and stuff, and it probably even may have gone the other way. So, but look, great drive, mate. Congratulations on the second place, and we look forward to seeing you back next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
No worries. There you go, Daniel Heddershield, second place tonight, and he'll pick up a fistful of points for the championship. And we don't actually. Sorry, who have we got?
We got Daniel End. Sorry. Yeah. Well, we did have Dylan Z for sure.
Andrew Dyson, I believe.
Andrew with us now.
Yeah, you got third place, mate, I think.
Yes, I did. Hey, guys. How you going?
Oh, not bad, Dyso. Good drive tonight, mate.
Yeah, thanks, man. I wanted to start up the front and have a battle with the other boys, but I got caught out. I didn't realise that I was going to run out of time in qualifying, so I didn't intend to do that. But still had a good race with a few dudes along the way tonight, so it was good fun.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that it was a bit of a server error. It was set to 5 minutes, but I don't know whether that second lap would have been a whole lot more advantageous because of the slippery conditions out there anyway. So, but look, 35 laps in that heat. It was very hot out there. I think track temp got up to something like 117 to 120 degrees at one point, and that certainly wasn't going to be good for the tyres or the grip. So, fantastic drive, great battle between you and Lockie there for a while.
Yeah, that was good too, man. You're right about it getting hot and slippery, especially when I got to the back of can't remember his name, 42. I got to the back of Lock on there in the 42. It was pretty tough going because we were sliding around and all that, and to throw a move on, it's not really super easy when it's that hot and it's that slippery. But we raced pretty clean. I think we had a little rub, but that was good. Just on the qualifying thing, I'm certainly not mad about it. It's made for an exciting race there for me. So, and you're right about the qualifying. Like, your second lap's not really going to be any good anyway. So that's not too bad.
You seem to have some real pace early on in about that first third of the race. At one point, you were running. You had the fastest time lap time of the race. Did you find early on was the time to actually have the pace and push it a bit before the tyres started to suffer from the heat, or was it just that you just decided I'm just going to go for it?
No, well, in the first few laps, when you're kind of around some people and you're trying to put moves on, when you can't put a move on, you just kind of look after it a little bit. So I did that as much as I could at the start there. Once I had some clear air, I got on with it. And when I got to someone, just kind of had to wait for my moment again. So the second half of the race, I could have a bit more of a go, obviously, until I got to the back of guys. Same thing, had to wait for my moment and then try and push. But the heat made it, you had to be careful with it for sure.
Well, your fastest lap tonight during the race was 1:13.09. So that was quicker than, actually, I think that's quicker than Dylan's qualifying time for pole. So you were pushing it pretty hard there for a while. That probably happened while you were battling with Lockie, was it?
No, it was before that. So I had some clear air just after I pitted, and I could see him up the road, and I thought, yeah, that's my target sort of thing. I'll see if I can get to him. We'll have a race. and I knew what the fastest laps was. I can see it on my timing screen, and I knew what I had to beat, and I wanted to beat Dill. I knew he was going to have a go, and then at the same time he was having a go at the fastest lap. He fried the tires off it, so he didn't really get much of a chance. So it was kind of went to me there, just because he stuffed it, I reckon. But yeah, it's still pretty cool.
He entertained us that last lap. About the last half a lap, he actually entertained us with a bit of a drifting demonstration.
Yeah. He said he was having a bit of fun.
Yeah. When he first did it, we sort of whoa, and then we realised he was doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
But just to finish the lap off and cross the finish line first. So, but you managed to lead 2 laps tonight, so it was obviously a pleasing night for you. I mean, third, you got on the podium. Fistful of points in the championship. You led a couple of laps, and you had some good battles throughout the night. So
yeah, that's it, man. Good few battles, and had a good bit of fun with that. So that's cool.
I'll hand you over to Brad for a minute. Anything you want to say, Brad?
Congratulations, Andrew. Great drive, picking up 15 positions. Again, a shame you're caught out with the qualifying. No one knew what was going on until we had a look and suddenly realised there was 5 minutes qualifying. But great drive by yourself to get to the podium from where you started.
Yeah, thanks, man. Like I said, it's kind of half my fault anyway. Like, I'm not too mad about it. It was kind of half my fault that I messed my first lap up anyway. So, but yeah, it did make for good fun, and it's really cool. Hopefully, the other guys had some fun too along the way. And yeah, thanks you guys for putting it all on, and all the guys for driving tonight. So made it good.
No worries. Anybody else you want to give a shout out to? Any sponsors or anything?
Oh, it's a quick one to Mark for putting this on. Look forward to watching it back, see how he's done. Obviously, his first time, so he's having a go, but that's good to see. And obviously putting on the league as well, and all the boys behind the scenes who helped make this happen. And quick one to South Wales and Simrings.com, but I'm sure Dill will take care of the rest.
No worries. All right, from 18th to 3rd, that is Andrew Dyson. So on the podium tonight from almost the back of the grid. So a hell of a drive there from Dyso, and we look forward to seeing you back next week, mate. Congrats again, and well done.
All right. Oh, sorry, mate. I dropped him down a bit quick.
With the snacks, Steve. Still, just enter the room.
Oh, well, there you go. But anyway, we got Dylan O'Shea with us, our race winner tonight. Congratulations on the win, Dylan.
Thank you. Yes, it was a good fun race. Was able to, lucky enough to get pole and just be able to get the win tonight.
Yeah, no, that's great stuff, mate. There was some great battles there, and I mean, you led 14 laps of it, and that almost constant battle with Daniel Heddersheed was just fantastic to watch. And then those last few laps where you both seem to have the tyres suffering from the hot conditions and stuff, and then that last half a lap where you entertained us with a bit of drifting, it was just quite good.
Yeah, Daniel definitely kept it interesting. Unfortunately, I hit him a few times just because I didn't know where my front end was, because I don't really drive these things too often. But yeah, the battle with him was good. He pitted a bit earlier, so he got the undercut. And I thought maybe with fresher tyres I could get him. It would be better off for me. And I was able to track him down in that last stint. And yeah, it was quite hard to pass, because for me there was only really turn 1 as an opportunity, not really at the bus stop. Coming up the hill, I was pretty weak, and Daniel was strong, so bus stop wasn't really an option. And so turn 1 was the only option, but I kept frying me tyres just trying to get to him. So yeah, I made it hard for myself, but was able to just throw the nose into one, and yeah.
It's interesting you say that, because pre-race, I was saying I expected that's where some of the action would be, people coming together, maybe just giving each other a bit of a touch-up or spinning through there, trying too hard, that sort of thing. And the bus stop was probably just about the only main part of the track that nothing actually happened tonight. So that was really interesting. It was turn 8, the final turn there, coming onto the front straight that seemed to claim a few. So was it particularly slippery at that corner, do you recall, or just the whole track and people just losing it at that point as a coincidence? Or
I just think that it was very hard to come up behind someone coming up the hill because the dirty air, and you just wash coming out, so the guy in front would just have a much better run and be able to gap a little just enough so that in the draft you wouldn't catch. So that was probably the reason. Bus stop was not really an opportunity for most people.
Okay, I'll hand you over to Brad for a minute.
Congratulations, Dylan. Superb drive. Great qualifying, great drive. A pleasure to watch. Got to compliment you, buddy, on your sportsmanship. I saw there at one stage you put a fender on him and you just backed off, let him get the spot back, and then still got around him and had the win. So it's great to see.
Yeah, I was pretty annoyed with myself with that move. I thought I could pull it up, but the angle I was coming in, and then I started locking the rears. It just wasn't going to work, and yeah, I don't really want to race like that. So yeah, gave it back.
Yeah, no, we called that as some really great sportsmanship at the time. We noticed that just the two of you just looking for the same piece of real estate. You gave him a bit of a touch. You realised it. He ran wide, so you just seemed to lift your foot and let him by. And that was great sportsmanship in that, mate. I know there's a few people out there probably wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, no, I thought it was the right move to make at the time.
That's our champions drive.
But, yeah, exactly. But look, yeah, you started first with a great pole time. It was a 1:13 point something. I can't remember what the point was, but yeah, you started first, finished first. Your highest position was first. You dropped back to fourth, I believe, was when you pitted. You led 14 laps, and your fastest time tonight was a 1:13.9 during the race. So. All round, there's not much to complain about there.
Yeah, I was just lucky Dyson wasn't able to set a lap in time. So, yeah, thankfully that happened and he started last. Otherwise, I reckon he would have smoked us all.
Was there some discussion between you being teammates about the qualifying, like when you realised that there was a shortened qualifying session?
Nah, not really. We just happened that I think he stuffed his first lap up. So, went around the whole. Yeah, you had an out lap. Then did his lap. At the end of the lap, he stuffed it up.
Okay,
reset it to the pits and then just didn't have enough time.
Well, he drove from 18th to 3rd, so...
Yeah, exactly. Crazy. It's crazy.
So he put in a hell of a drive to get on the podium with you. So DBR BenMax 1st and 3rd. The team-wise, you've got to be pleased with that.
Yeah, 100%. It's good to see the Simrigs cars up there and battling for these wins.
All right. Anybody like sponsor-wise and everything you want to give a shout-out to? Anybody you want to thank?
Just the team sponsors, simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoist, BenMax Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, and MP Designs. And also you guys for putting on the broadcast and Mark for running the show. It's good.
Yeah, Mark does a lot of work. He does a tremendous job. And on top of all that, he sat in here pushing the buttons tonight, so giving us the vision. So, yeah, well, you didn't have to listen to Mark all night, but you had to listen to me. So, I don't know what's worse.
You're both good.
But we've glad to have had Brad in the booth tonight as well. So fantastic stuff there. So, look, great drive, mate. We were absolutely thrilled by it. The battle between you and Daniel. It was just fantastic stuff to watch. So congratulations on that. And we look forward to seeing you back again next week.
Yeah, we'll do. Thank you, guys.
No worries. Thanks very much, Dylan. Congrats again. Okay, so there's your first place winner, Dylan O'Shea. And second, Daniel Heddersheed. Third place, Andrew Dyson. So, as I said, a DBR BenMax 1-3. And some fantastic racing throughout the field tonight, but especially in that front 4 or 5, Brad.
Absolutely, yeah, terrific. It was a pleasure to watch for a road course. Quite often road courses aren't the greatest thing for television, but you can't complain with that racing. No,
definitely one to enjoy, and fantastic stuff. Okay, so do we have you back with us, Mr. Johansson?
Yes, mate. Yeah, I'm back here. Thanks, boys, for jumping in at the 12th hour and doing the commentary. I hope people enjoyed it. Just to wrap up things, mate, because you're not quite up to speed, we now have our Christmas break for 2 weeks. So that was the last race before our Christmas break. So I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and safe holidays. And we're back on the on the 7th of the 1st, and we come back. Oh, sorry, there is another one. There's a yeah, sorry, my mistake. I'm jumping the gun. We've got next week at
We've got next
Martinsville.
week at Martinsville. The drivers aren't as friendly in the commentary there.
I was going to say, mate, don't make Christmas that soon. God.
Mate, as you said earlier, I've been sat in front of this thing for a couple of weeks now, trying to learn how to push these buttons and everything, and it's just all starting to get to me. I need a break.
Look, from what I've seen, mate, you did a tremendous job on the cameras tonight, and it's something that, although I thought you did a pretty good job, it's something that you'll get more comfortable with over time and practice. So yeah, you did a great job, and I think you'll it'll grow on you, and you'll find it almost second nature after a few more races.
Yeah, I think so. And hopefully, we can get Brad back into the box. I think he did a fantastic job for his first night live on the air.
Oh yeah, I just wish he'd talk more because I just didn't feel like it.
When I call tyres Dunlops instead of Goodyear, so why would you want me back? But anyway, it's on the Martinsville, 110 laps at night. It'll be a great race.
Yeah, definitely will. It's a tight little bull ring. I'll put you on the spot, Brad. With this racing tonight, who do you think will come out on top on a short track?
Oh, Jesus, you'd have to pick Dyson, wouldn't you? Truly, yeah. I mean, we saw Dyson there make an error the other week, but he's pretty solid at Martinsville. There's quite a number of people that should do well. I could pick the top 5, I think, maybe.
Well, we won't go that far, mate. But anyway, guys, thanks very much. I'll hand it back to you, Steve, to finish off for the night. Again, thank you. And let's hope we get this streaming stuff down a little bit better than what it was tonight. And, look forward to doing the rest of the truck season.
Don't know what you're talking about, mate. I thought you did a tremendous job. Anyway, that's it from Watkins Glen for round 4 of the Lucas Oil 2022 Weekend Warriors Truck Series. And this is the summer series. We've got one more race before Chrissy. And we're going to Martinsville, as you heard, next week, 110 laps. And a night race. And so, wow, that's going to be one to catch. Short circuit. And be like running around a clothesline and getting dizzy. So thank you for watching, and we look forward to your company again next week. And on behalf of Mark the Swede Johansson and Brad Allison, this is Steve Hoppett signing off. Thanks very much to our sponsors, Lucas Oil. Thanks very much to the drivers, and thank you very much to all of you out there who watched tonight. I was a bit remiss and didn't check on the social chat on YouTube. But I could say good day to Tex. He's out there somewhere, and it's hard to race them when they all look the same. Yeah, it's right. So good day, Tex. And that was pretty much the only comment we had in there tonight, so I didn't miss too much. So we'll see you next week at Martinsville. Thanks very much. Good night from him, and good night from me.